Alright, so true life, this has been one of the most requested pieces of content that you guys have asked for, either through video or through blog posts, but I figured it would be easier if I could just show you instead of telling you. But I finally decided to come in here and talk about how I manage and work with my thinning hair. Now, it kind of sucks. I'm only 22, not really something I wanted to be dealing with yet, but I do have some fairly noticeable thinning hair, some really big bald spots in the back of my head, and it took me a while to accept it, but once I was able to accept it, I obviously went into research mode and I wanted to know what would work best, new animals, for me. So I'm here today to hang out with you guys if you're interested and show you exactly what I do and exactly how I work with my thinning hair so that I'm able to manage it and so that I also feel comfortable walking out the door. So if you are ready for some thinning hair hacks, just keep on watching. All right, friends, so this is a super awkward, vulnerable topic for me because it's still something that I'm working on accepting. But I wanted to put this out here because there are some things that I have found work for me, help me both with managing my hair and making sure that the thinning doesn't get worse, but also just help me with being able to go out into the world confidently without having to feel like I need to put on a hat every time I go out. So I just want to show you guys a little bit. Now this is day 2 hair, but I want to show you a little bit about what I'm talking about. I'm thinning in many places. I have a few bald spots already at 22 years old. Not my favorite thing, but it's just how life is. So instead of fighting it, I decided to start working with it, and I want to share with you guys what I found. So I'm just going to give you a little look at my head, okay? Okay. So as you see, I have a lot of stuff up here. Not pretty, not the best. Like, parting my hair is always a hassle because the part, not only is it so far, your part's not supposed to be this wide, but it also goes all the way back and extends to my bald spots. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you some things that I have found really helped me both in that maintenance area and also just with my confidence. So I'm gonna shower first and we'll get to it. All right, so it was second day, so I didn't wash my hair, but I've never been able to successfully take a shower without getting my hair wet on non-wash days, so I just let it happen and blow dry it anyway. It's fine. It's honestly fine. But those are like the 2 very basic things that I feel like everyone knows. As much as it sucks, because when you have thin and thinning hair, the greasy, oily hair, the past day 2 hair is really difficult to deal with, right? Because it weighs down your hair, but you have to train your hair to need wash less, to need you to wash it less. So as much as it sucks, try to get your hair on a schedule where you're not washing it every day or every other day. I try to wash my hair just twice a week. And then the other days I work on either hairstyles that are okay with post first and second day hair, or I use dry shampoo, and I make sure not to overdo it with the dry shampoo because depending on which one you use, you can end up drying out your hair. The other thing with showers is condition first. And that's just like another very basic, I'm sure you've heard it in every other video and blog post and whatever that you've looked through for your thinning hair. Just putting the conditioner in first, allowing it to sit, and then shampooing afterwards. It's less product and weight on your hair. You're still getting all the benefits from conditioning your hair, but by doing it on step 1 and allowing the shampoo to kind of remove some of the leftover product, you're taking some of the weight off the strands of your hair. And no matter what thickness your hair is, right? Thinning hair can still be thick because it's not that exactly that your hair is thin, although mine is also very thin and fine, but it's just that you're losing, you're thinning out. So regardless as to whether or not you have thick hair or thin hair, it's really important to focus on the amount of crap that you put on your hair because you don't want it to weigh down at the roots because then it just shows more and it's not as fun. So that's basic stuff. Along with that, product wise, I have found that things will work for me for a little bit and then they'll stop. Both like shampoos and conditioners, and then like after shower products and styling products. So I do like to change it around when I can, but I try not to invest too much or get too deep into that stuff because it does get pricey and it gets very disappointing when I feel like I found something and then it stops working. So my regular, like I use regular shampoo and conditioner. I just make sure that it's sulfate free, and I make sure that it's meant for healthy hair. I make sure that it's meant for volumizing, but I don't go crazy with like the medicated stuff or the stuff that's thinning specific, because I find that it'll work for me for a little bit and then it's done. All right, so one big thing that I know really sucks to accept is that air drying is just a no-go when you have thinning hair. You want to allow your hair to dry naturally. I get it. You don't want to apply stuff. You don't want to have to work as hard. You want to be able to maintain your curls, but as much as possible, try to blow out your hair, because by air drying, you're not maximizing the amount of volume that you can get in the roots. Now, I don't towel dry my hair. I use a t-shirt. It's just not as rough on my hair, and it doesn't make my hair as frizzy, and it just works better, I promise you. I take a t-shirt, I put my head through the neck hole upside down, and I just like twist it up on my head while I do all my other stuff. So this is like t-shirt dried. Also, I've been talking a little bit too long hair, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go through and do a quick blow dry, and we're gonna keep on moving. All right, so that was a quick, like, rough dry. You can, if you want to, just blow dry your hair and style it that way. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. My blow drying skills are just not that great. And I also don't have the time for that. So a lot of the times I'll just do a rough dry just to get it there. And then cool it off. Like, I always make sure to use the cold afterwards, just so that I don't turn into a huge puffball in the humidity when it's humid. One thing I did forget is to show you guys the products that I put in my hair before I blow dry. So like I said, I'm not product heavy. I don't like going in and trying to do everything under the sun for thinning hair. One thing that I do is I do use Women's Rogaine. I don't know why I'm showing you, as if you people don't know what this looks like, but I'm going to show you anyway. I have like mixed feelings about it. It hasn't really done much for me yet. I don't know if it'll do more. For the parts that I showed you in the back where I have bald spots and thinning spots and all that fun stuff, but up in the front, and you can kind of see here, like my hair is thinning out, so you can see my scalp through my hair, which is just not fun whatsoever. So the Rogaine itself, it was a lot worse. I've been using Rogaine for almost a year now. It was a lot worse. So it did help with like some regrowth here in the front of my head. It hasn't done very much in the back of my head, which I'm willing to accept because I don't know the differences. I just know that I'm grateful for what it's done for the front of my head. So I put this on every day. It's real easy. You fill the cap. You make sure your hands are cold, because if not, then the foam just kind of like disintegrates at your warm finger touch. But you fill the cap, make sure your hands are cold. You put it into the places where you're working on. When you're doing the front, and this is something I learned the hard way, when you're doing the front or anything near where your hair isn't, you want to make sure that you're putting it like 1.5 centimeters behind where you're working on. Because what I did is I put it all the way up to my hairline, and then I started getting like regrowth on my forehead, and it was not cute. So that's one thing. That's one product that I do use. I use it every day. I've been using it for about a year, and I have seen that it helps me with the thinning out up front, and you can't see as much as you used to be able to. The other things that I use, this is something that I use now and then. I also like the Bumble and Bumble thickening. That's another line that I like, but I don't have it right now. This is Bedhead, and it's their Small Talk cream, and it's a thickifier, energizer, stylizer, volumifiant, tonifiant, and it goes into a whole bunch of different words because I just realized it was in a different language. And what I really like about this, and I use it when I blow dry every time, is I just put it in my roots, and it gives me just a little extra lift. So like I said, this is second day hair, so it hasn't been shampooed or conditioned but just like using the heat, and this is activated by heat. I put just like the teeniest bit, not even a dime, like maybe pea amount into my roots, and then heating it up gives me a little extra lift. And then on the bottom of my hair, because I do like still having soft to the touch hair, and I know it doesn't look like it because I only rough dried it, but I use r+co tinsel, the smoothing oil, guys. When I tell you this has changed my life, it has changed my life. Literally, you put it on wet hair, just a little bit, you put it in, you blow dry, and feels so fucking good. I like this company. I actually also use, and I'll show you guys, this is a dry shampoo paste by the same company, and it looks a little funky here. But same thing, like you put just a little bit on your fingers and you rub them together. It's activated by heat also. And then by using it in my hair, not only do I get, you know, that I get to make it to my next wash without looking like you can fry an egg on my head, but I also get that extra volume. It works a lot better for me on the later days than my regular dry shampoo, which I'll show you guys. Hey, Tyrael. I use Clean Freak. Easy peasy. I am going to straighten my hair today. And one big thing that I feel like I absolutely should have thought of just as a human being, I didn't even turn it on. I've had this since 6th grade, probably not great. When you straighten your hair, you think like, okay, straightening, you straighten down, like I want it to be straight, but guys, we have thinning hair. So the more weight, the more pull down, the more we separate the strands up top, the more you see. So when you're straightening your hair, as much as you can, pull it away from the scalp. So like pull it upwards, pull it away from the scalp. And then you can go and style it so it doesn't look all crazy. But we want to work with lifting our root. We want to work with our thinning hair, not against our thinning hair. So that's what I'm going to do now. Alright, so that is that. I straightened it. I let my hair choose where it wants to be parted. And this is where it chose for today. I'm not too worried about my parts usually, just as long as they don't look too crazy. But like I said, I do pay attention to where I part my hair so that I know if it's leading into a bald spot, because that kind of looks like a river, like into a, yeah, it's just terrible. But this is like the big thing that I wanted to share with you guys. So I just recently found this about 3 weeks ago, and this has been like my biggest confidence booster, because even doing all of this, as nice as it looks like my hair isn't, if I put my hair in a ponytail, it's about the size of like a dime. It's really ridiculous. But this doesn't look like I have like that little amount of hair. And I'll show you guys. And this is all because I've lost hair. I used to have such a thick ponytail. You see? Sad life. But even with all of this, my hair looks great, but I still have parts here, like you can still kind of see through, and I still have the bald spots in the back where if my hair moves a certain way or if my hair is parted a certain way, you see it, and it drives me crazy. And that's kind of what impacted my confidence the most, is always feeling like you could see it from behind me. I didn't like sitting in front of people in school. I ask Dan almost every morning when I'm getting ready to like check me for bald spots so he can move it around, which makes me kind of sad, because I remember growing up my mom asking me to do the same thing, and like my siblings to do the same thing. We would walk into the bathroom while she was getting ready so that she could turn around and we could move pieces of hair so that I was covering the bald spot. And that makes me real sad. So this has been my saving grace. Now, before I get into it, another thing that I'm not going to do today, because I'm kind of just going for a more sleek look, tease your hair. Coming from someone who lived with teased hair for like way too long of her life, because I used to do dance competitions, it really does help. It helps add volume to your root, but also when you tease your roots out, it gives you more control of them. You can kind of mold them better than just having free-falling loose strands. So when you tease from the root, you're able to move stuff over more. But I'm not going to do that today. Like I said, I'm not looking for that much volume up here. I'm also not looking to put in that much work because I'm staying home. But I want to show you my saving grace. Now this is what... What's up, bud? What? I think he wanted to say hello again. Do you hear him? Okay, bud, I gotta finish my video. This is my saving grace. So this is Topic. It's hair building fibers. You can get it to match your hair color. I use the dark brown because I have dark brown hair, or dark brown roots at least, and it's perfect. And basically what it does is it's just a little powder, and I'll show you. You can get it in spray, for like an attachment so you can spray it, but I just use it like this. And it's a powder that comes out, yes, and grips onto your hair and kind of makes those thinning and balding spots non-existent. So for me, it's perfect because the stuff in the back, even though I don't have hair growing out of there, you can't like see my scalp. And I use it in my hairline as well, in my like part in my hairline as well. So again, it doesn't look like so much has been removed from my hair. I look like somebody who like plucked too much from the part of a wig. So basically, and this is gonna be really difficult to show you guys, I take this and I know basically where my bald spots are. So for example, that's one of them. And I just go, and hopefully this works, and I pat, 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 pat. I know, bud. And then I go and I find another bald spot, and I pat through and I do the same thing. And then I just finger comb it so that nothing's too clumped in. Now I do have to say the only not so great thing about this, and it's like very obvious when you think about like the purpose of it, what you're using. If you run your fingers through your hair, he really wants my attention. If you run your fingers through your hair, your nails, like it'll get under your nails. This is why my nails always look dirty. It's because I forget and I run my fingers through my nails and I look down, I'm like, fuck man, it looks like I've been digging in dirt. But it really does so much, so much for me. And it makes it so much easier because I never feel like I have to worry about who's behind me. I never feel like I have to ask Dan to cover up my bald spots because this kind of basically masks them. It's not itchy. It doesn't like fall out onto my clothing. It doesn't get on my like the headrest in my car. I have worked out with it and I haven't had any issues, but I do know some people who say that like when their head gets really sweaty, that's when they have an issue. So you just have to bring it around so that you can reapply it is basically the digs. And let's see if I can show you guys here. So you see how like right here, yeah? Yeah, it's like that. Gone. No clue. These are parts of my hair that like you can see through to the scalp and it drives me crazy. Makes me real self-conscious. I know I'm supposed to be working on like loving my body and I love my body dearly, but I don't love being able to see through. I don't love that my part is so dramatic. So this is it. And that, my friends, is a full account of all of my hacks for those of you with thinning hair, because we can still work it and you can make it work with whatever. Here, now I can show you because I just put it in. You see, my nails look so disgusting and dirty, but you just wash it out. It's okay. Like, it's not a reason to not use it. You know what I'm saying? All right, and I will show you guys the back of my head as well so you can see the lack of bald spots. And then we're gonna end it for today. So hopefully you guys can see. Hopefully I covered it all. Usually I check in the mirror first, but that is that. So it helps me manage my hair loss, also helps me not get super anxious about people being able to see my bald spots, my thinning spots, and stuff like that. If you guys have any other product recommendations or stories or questions or whatever, please, like I said, I'm learning. I want to continue learning, so drop it all in the comments. We can make a community of people who wear thinning hair. I have also used wigs. I haven't used any toppers or anything like that, but I think that's something that I'm going to dive into more now that the weather's cooler and I don't have to worry about sweating as much. So if you have anything to say about that as well, any experience, let me know. You can find me on Instagram. That's where I answer most of my messages quickest. I'm always on Instagram. So make sure you go ahead and follow and show love. Let me know that you followed, because I like to go back and show mega love. So I'm going to put it I honestly don't know where I'm going to put it, but it's going to be somewhere, Casey.AnnRose, and I will see you on that platform for more. But for right now, it's time for me to head out. Bye, friends.